Yeah, yeah, yo,
Like I'm about to start off a hip hop song.
yeah. You about to bust around this joint?
I know, right? That was it. Don't like the G Dep special delivery start off like that. Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Tony Hadnot, aka the Nocturnist, and I'm here with my bro,
Ken Folk, and we are.
Super Hadnot Bros, and we are a podcast about nothing because a conversation about nothing is a conversation about any and everything.
Yeah, man.
So, before we get started, we want to go ahead and just kind of invite you guys to make sure that you subscribe if you enjoy the show, like, share, and comment, and we appreciate it. So
It's
that would
free
mean
to
a
do,
lot.
man.
Free
Super
to
free.
do, super duper free. All you gotta do is just click one button. That's all.
Click the button.
That's it. So we
All I
hope
need
you
to do,
enjoy the
click the
show.
button.
Absolutely. Push the goddamn button. remember,
Yeah, on rush hour.
Rush hour.
Yeah.
So what's your week been like?
This week has been kind of whatever because I've been off for 2 weeks, so going back to work it's kind of trash. But hey, man, it is
Making
what it
the
is.
adjustments,
You got to
readjusting back to
get
the
back
work
into
life.
the groove of getting up hella early and getting out there on the grind, man.
Yeah, that's the same thing with me. I start back next week, so I go back Monday, and I'm trying to get my mind ready for it. But yeah, you gotta do what you got to do.
Yeah, because
So
Cam go back to school Monday.
okay,
I thought I was gonna bring him this weekend, but they not opening in the dorms until Monday at 1:00. So I'm gonna have to miss a day of work to go drop him in. But it's all right.
yeah. I mean, all for the greater good.
Yeah, man, it's worth it.
That's what they say, right?
Yeah.
So I know that this week we really got a really good conversation to have regarding to a TV series that is a part of an even bigger franchise. For those who are not familiar, white people, it's you may have seen it, but
No,
we're gonna talk about.
it is funny you say that though, because every time I tell a white person we go do a review on it, they be like, I don't know what that is. I'm not sure. Not sure if I follow.
So yeah, and the franchise we're talking about is Best Man. So for those of you who are a little late to the party, the Best Man has started a a series. Well, I wouldn't say started. It's nothing that's going to be ongoing, but it's a kind of an end to a franchise, and it's called Best Man: The Final Chapters. It came out on Peacock in December, and it basically kind of like closes out the entire Best Man storyline.
Right.
Which to go ahead and go right into it, man, it's actually really impressive that they were able to even go that far with it, because really and truly, if we go back 20 years to the first movie, that could have been it.
It could have just been it.
Yeah, and it's one of those stories where you really don't necessarily need a sequel, or you don't necessarily need to did I freeze up?
Yeah, you sure right. Yes, exactly what.
Yeah, you froze up. You there? You moving?
Okay, I'm
you
back
good?
now. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. All right. So back to what I was saying. If you go back 20 years, it's one of those things where you don't necessarily it could have been fine without any sequels. So for the writers and directors, who is it? Is it Malcolm D. Lee?
I believe so.
Wrote and directed it. Okay,
it's Spike Lee's cousin.
Nugget. He's Spike Lee's cousin. Malcolm D. Lee. That's actually very impressive of him to be able to take that story that could have ended right then and there in the first movie and still built upon the story. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I kind of got it all sectioned out as far as what we can cover.
I didn't hear nothing you just said for the last 20 seconds.
Am I delayed?
No, we're not delayed now. It did the whole thing. It reset us.
Oh, it reset us?
It's like you froze now.
Okay, yeah, you're freezing up too. Man, it's my dogs. They keep fucking up that cable line out there. Yo, 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 yo,
Yeah,
yo, 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 yo.
yo,
Like I'm about to start off a hip hop song.
yeah. You about to bust around this joint.
I know, right? That was it. Don't like the G Dep special delivery start off like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no. So yeah, I want to get into it. We could kind of cover everything from the overview of the franchise to like the production value, the writing, storyline, and how the characters are all developed.
You want to kind of go from the beginning or just from the series?
No, we can kind of cover the beginning. So, the Best Man, if you're not familiar with the series, it's about the original story centers around this dude who's a writer. His name is Harper Stewart, and he wrote this book. And it's this book that's like on the verge of becoming like
It's called Unfinished Business.
Right. And so it's on the verge of becoming like a New York Times bestseller, it's in the Oprah Winfrey book club. So he's like, once this book releases, he's gonna be like
gonna be the man. He gonna be
the man.
Be the man. Yeah.
But the story is basically about the story. The book is basically about it's loosely based on his life and about how he had all these different relationships with all these different people when he was going to college.
Would you call it like loosely based?
Yeah, it may not be loosely based.
His shit was damn near just.
It was okay.
Names. His shit wasn't loosely at all, dog.
Yeah, you're right. But he did say that the one character was like an amalgamation of like all the women he knew. So really and truly, well, no, because he still wrote. No, yeah. You're right. Okay, I take that back.
At all. It was straight up point. It was on point.
Yeah, it was pretty much on point. All he really did was just change the names and kind of like what they did or whatever. But
yeah, slightly or whatever.
So anyhow, the story is based on the fact that his best friend was an athlete, promising NFL, future NFL football star. He ends up getting with one of his female friends that he used to work with at the school newspaper. And so the girl was just supposedly like the good girl saving it for marriage type thing, but the football star was like crushing on a big time, even though he had like the the stereotypical jock persona, traveling a lot on the road, banging all these chicks and so on and so forth.
Knocking them down.
This particular girl was the one that tamed the beast, right?
Yeah.
So him and the girl get mad serious and
let's go ahead and break her down or whatever, because she is this they portrayed her as this good girl,
right?
Really Christian. There's nothing wrong. She has no flaws, basically, or whatever.
Right. She's basically like the sign of purity, the girl next door, the
purest thing you ever seen in your life.
Right. And and I'm talking about speaks her mind, does things the way it's supposed to be done, just the overall, like the girl of your dreams, basically.
Perfection. And that's what he called her in the book.
That's what he called her in the book, right? So, he talks about his relationship with her and how they were supposed to be 100% platonic. It was, he had like more of a brother sister kind of vibe to her. But the secret of the thing was that really and truly, this particular character, the writer, had a way with women, and
kiss him on the forehead, dog.
Yeah, so he always portrayed himself to be like the straightforward guy, the nice guy, like he was basically like her equivalent in a sense. Did everything the right way, so on and so forth. But he had a way with women, and his way of like reeling them in was to kiss them on the forehead. When he kissed them girls on the forehead, for some odd reason, that was it. That was like the calling card for like, yo, trying to smash.
Yeah,
and it worked.
All it did was this.
Right. So, long story short, he gets him, time goes on, and him and his best friend decides that he wants to marry this girl. So he gets invited to the wedding. So, throughout the invite, mind you, he's living in Chicago at the time. All his friends live in New York. So he travels to New York to go prepare for the wedding, right? He's invited to be the best man. So he has all the responsibilities of the best man and so on and so forth, to do what he can to get this man to get married. But the book comes out, and his friend who works for BET fucking leaks the fact that the book is coming out to all the friends, and he's trying to hide the
book
secret.
Wasn't out yet.
Yeah, it wasn't out. This is a
She got an
pre-release.
exclusive.
She had got like a pre-copy, right?
Yeah.
So the book had dirty secrets in there that we'll talk about here in a little bit, but he's trying to hide the book from getting to his best friend
before the wedding.
Before the wedding. So his friend Jordan read the book, who was somebody he almost had sex with.
Yeah.
His homeboy Merch, who couldn't keep his mouth closed, spread the rumor about the book. He read the book. His friend Quentin read the book.
It got passed around. The book got passed around.
Yeah, everybody read the book. So everybody kind of saw like their version of themselves in this book. So let's keep going. So throughout this time, he's trying to hide the book from Lance. That's Morris Chestnut's character. They go through the wedding plans, they go through the tuxedo fittings, and everybody's kind of alluding to the fact that we know what you did, nigga.
Right.
Like we know what you did, but it's up to you. It's up to you to
tell your man.
Fucking tell your boy so that we don't have no issues.
Get it out the way, man. Let him know.
They get all the way up to the bachelor party, and at the bachelor party, Harper sees the book that Lance throws out his suitcase because he didn't think that Lance was going to read the book. By the way,
he was hoping that they would have been married and everything. Right. By the time he read it, it would have been whatever.
Right, but Lance caught the book and was like, "Yo, this shit is good.
It's good ass book."
Like, because Lance was supporting his boy, like
he was, and he was like, "It's a dope ass book, dog.
It's like, a dope book, nigga. You fixing to be rich, like." Yeah. So at the bachelor party, he sees that Lance is looking for something, his rings or something in the suitcase. He just throws the book out, just looking for his thing. So Harper is like, "Oh, this is my chance to get the book." He grabs the book without Lance knowing. And then as they go through the bachelor party, the strippers and stuff come through.
Stripper took his jacket off.
The stripper took his jacket off, threw it on the floor, and Lance noticed that the book fell out. So Lance was like, "Why is he so like adamant about hiding this book?"
Yeah.
So Lance goes and reads the book in private, finds out that during a time when Lance and Mia were dating, Lance had cheated on Mia so many times that she was like, "I didn't had enough." So she went to Harper to go find comfort
and gave him the buns.
He cracked them cheeks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, gave him the
cracked
buns.
Them wide open.
No, go ahead, because I got some problems with her or whatever. But go ahead.
Yeah. We're gonna do a cat. We're gonna cover all the. We got time today.
Yeah.
We got nothing but time today.
Yeah.
So he cracks them cheeks, right? Smashes the girl, and Lance reads that in the book. He was like, "Oh, so this is why you hiding the book from me."
When he was reading and the whole background turned red, I was like, "Oh, that's his ass, dog."
This nigga was furious. So they have a falling out, and Lance is like, "Nah, fuck this. The wedding ain't happening." So
they ain't have no falling out.
Lance, yeah. So once this is found out, they have a conversation the next day during the wedding. Lance is kind of almost like the wedding ain't happening, but it was up to Harper to go ahead and mend things up and get it all fixed up and make the wedding happen. So he talked them into it, and reluctantly Lance was like, "You know what? At the end of the day, this is my woman. I love her to death, so on and so forth. Let's water under the bridge. Bygones be bygones. You fucked up, but it is what it is."
Yeah.
So they get married, and that's the end of the story.
Movie number one.
That's movie number one. I don't really want to go to the movie number two, but it's really just about, it's kind of like a similar scenario where Lance is now a all-star, like he's at the peak of his career.
He's the best. He's damn near the best NFL player ever.
The best NFL player ever. So there's another book on Lance that Harper wants to write, but Harper's writing the book, but he was like, "I need to talk to Lance first before this book drops." Again, Nia Long's character, Jordan, she all about getting exclusive.
Get the exclusive.
She puts the shit out there, and before
he was supposed to be doing an autobiography of him, of Lance.
Yeah,
but he needed permission to do it, and he needed to get him to sign off. But he's still mad. Lance is still mad.
Lance is still pissed. He's still harboring feelings towards Harper because of what he did in the first.
He's still pissed.
So he's trying to get Lance to sign off on the book. So Lance gets basically, Harper's like, "Don't let this shit out until I talk to Lance."
Right.
But it gets out because Jordan then fucked around and made a mock-up of the book and all this other stuff. So Lance gets pissed off, blah, blah, blah. But even in the midst of all of that, Lance's wife actually fucks around and get killed because she died, not get killed. She dies.
She fucks around and dies, huh?
I know I'd say shit so fucked up sometimes. But she dies of cancer. So that's kind of like the overall gist of that story. It really don't have to
there
get that
really
deep
wasn't
into
nothing
it.
there, but besides that, and then you could see the other relationships like with what's her
Quentin
face?
and Shelby.
Quentin and Shelby, yeah.
Yeah, and then also Candace and Merch.
Yeah.
They ended up married, and then let's not forget about Sanaa Lathan, which I have a lot of shit to talk about her character for, and that's going to be specifically in the Best Man, the final chapters, which is what we're going to
Yes.
talk about right now. So,
All right, so then cool. We got that out the way, so we
yes,
into the final chapters. Okay, go ahead.
yes, okay. So the first thing that I want to talk about with the final chapters is the production value.
Okay.
Overall, I feel like it was well produced, but there were certain times I was like, they're using green screen like a motherfucker. Like,
oh yeah, we saw a lot of things that happened that shouldn't have happened, and I don't know how the continuity person didn't catch none of that shit. Like they should know. Like when they were sitting at the table playing cards, and at one point there's like a card box on the ground under somebody's foot, and it just disappears.
Yeah. Okay.
Like no, it wasn't like they were
continuity
shot and
issues.
come back to it and it's gone. Just straight up disappears in the shot.
Yeah. Really bad continuity issues. But also like it was a couple of scenes where they were standing. Like Lance and somebody was standing. Lance and Sanaa Lathan character
on the balcony
was standing on the balcony, and they were looking at the city. And you could clearly tell
trash that was not clear.
They were not in the city. And then there was like also some scenes where like he was standing on a football field, and he wasn't really on a football field.
Nah,
like
not at all.
The crowd and the stuff in the back looked real shitty. But you know what I chalk it up to? Because I have to say that they did the best they could with what they had.
Right, and this wasn't a full-fledged movie, so
yeah, it was
kind of got to go with
so it. But the thing was that they started production in March in 2022, and the series dropped in December. So they had like a 9-month gap to get everything together. So I guess when you have that, that's really not a lot of time to produce an entire series.
It's not, especially because every episode was like an hour and some change damn near.
Right. So I mean, production wise, it was like, I don't want to say it was the best, but I feel like it was good for what they had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's pretty much that. As far as the writing goes, I do think that it was actually very, very well written. For the most part.
Yeah, it was good as far as the writing. But the characters changed drastically. Like
the characters,
a lot of the characters, they changed like their whole personalities. Some of them for the good, some of them for the worse. So
yeah. Well, the one thing that I do appreciate, and I think maybe this is just about the franchise overall, is that even though the characters and stuff changed drastically, I still feel like the storyline could be relatable.
Yeah.
As far as the way they wrote the characters and the way they wrote the relationships, because if you really look deeper between the lines, you think that the story is really more so about Harper. And I mean, it is centered around him. Yes. But they call it the best man because it's not so much about him being like the best man at the wedding. It's really about, like, if you really think about it, as the time goes on and you really watch the story, it's really about how people evolve and how they change and how they react within their relationships, right? You see all these different degrees of relationships going on in the show. So it's like him evolving as a person and really being the best person he can be. That's one thing. Secondly, what I appreciate the most about the best man is that although us as Black people can relate to the movie, really and truly anybody can relate to that movie, because all these people in this movie are like mad successful, right?
Hey, straight successful. They no bums out here.
But they don't stereotype the idea of what success is, right? Like
they not bougie or none of that shit.
That's what I'm saying. They're just like regular people. They just happen to be doing very well in life. So like they're not materialistic. They're not. I mean, well, one of the characters, Shelby's character is, but they wrote her intentionally that way,
right?
But like, they're not all about, like, they ain't just doing like what you would consider to be rich people shit. There's a couple of times where they do it, but it's like not so much, You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
Like it ain't
I
over
get
the
it
top.
because I mean, they don't have a problem with getting up and going travel somewhere and just having a great ass
Yeah,
time. So, but though, so money is not a thing to them, but they still just have their personal problems, even with work
right.
and shit like that or whatever. So they still just
Yeah.
doing everyday shit.
Yeah, they don't write it in a way to where it's all about
Right.
money. They just living their lives and they just happen to be doing really good. That was one thing. But also on that same on the flip side to that is that although everybody can relate to it, you can still relate to it as being a black person. So like when you think about it, it's really just an all-American movie with
Yeah.
a cast that just happens to be black. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And of course, there's going to be black references in it because it's directed, written, and all that stuff about black people. But for the most part, anybody can relate to it. But I like that about that movie because it doesn't stereotype. It doesn't stereotype black people for the most
Didn't
part.
put us in a hole.
It didn't put us in a hole. These, like I said, it's just people that's just living their lives, just doing what they do, and they just happen to all be doing pretty damn good in life, and you can't be mad at that. That's that. And then also, I do like how they were able to evolve the characters and age them up and put them into the current times. Being the LGBT thing, cannabis culture, and whatever else that's going on in the world. We touched on that before in the early episode where we said like how you can still put all of that in a story, but it doesn't have to be thrown in your face.
It
I
doesn't
feel
have to be the focal point.
I feel like they did a really good job doing that because
So
like with
they made. I
Lance's,
mean, they did one clear episode where they had to do a full thing about the
yeah,
LGBT and all that.
but the way they wrote it was really good. Like,
Yeah, I wasn't mad at it because I kind of seen it coming.
yeah, you knew, yeah, right. You could really kind of see it in the beginning when he was talking about why you could see how the son was kind of reluctant on being about a
He
football
he
and all
wasn't
that.
really excited about going to practice and shit like
And
that.
he enjoyed being around Jordan,
Yeah,
because she's the fashionista, hotshot executive, whatever you want to
right.
call it. But yeah, they were able to put focus on it without it being so too much.
Yeah,
So that was something I really like. And specifically, like in that aspect of it, between Lance and his son, I really enjoyed that part of his story because I feel like sometimes in Hollywood, whenever they do touch on those situations between, especially like between a father and a son, right?
hmm
Usually the father, yeah, he gets mad about it, and then all of a sudden he just kind of like instantly comes to terms with it.
right.
But I like how they like there was one scene in particular that I really appreciated when Lance was like, God, please just help me understand that boy.
Yeah,
You don't really see that in a lot of those movies,
he had to come to terms with it. I mean, it was shocking. He didn't know what the hell to do.
It was he didn't know what to do, and not so much that he had to come to terms with it, but you saw his struggle at
Yeah,
coming to terms with it because he was really trying to figure it out.
he didn't
You know,
understand it. He kind of started feeling like, hell, what did I do? Like, you know what I'm
right?
saying? Where did I go wrong?
I mean, and although it was a little there, like I said, it could have been a little cheesy at times. For the most part, I could honestly see that in a more realistic situation,
Yeah,
like he was just like, man, wipe that shit off your face and let's go. Like,
yeah,
because that's how, like, especially in the black community, that's how the black dad gonna talk to his son.
yeah. And
You know what I'm
but
saying?
of course, it had to be the extra masculine NFL player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This dude he's a warrior all day long, fighting gladiator. He's every day, every Sunday, he's out there fighting. And
Right.
of course he's gonna have the type of feeling it's no nonsense. And I don't have time to sit there and try to figure this shit out. Clean that shit up and let's go.
Right. So I thought they did really, really, really well. Now, there were some cheesy moments.
Of
Um,
course.
I felt like Lance's character in the beginning was a little cheesy. Like I understand.
Extremely. So the moment they entered, the moment they showed him opening the door, Dick swinging.
Yeah, right. It was just kind of
Who
like,
does that? And then he was like, oh, my bad. Like, nigga, you
yeah,
knew that.
yeah, right. I mean, and granted, the things that he was doing could be more realistic. As a man, that I mean, I can only imagine what it would be. God forbid if I lost my wife, I can only imagine. But it was just the way that they did it. Just felt It was just a
I
little
don't know.
weird,
I
but
can relate to it completely, but it's not like, oh,
yeah, right,
after
right,
18 years of being with somebody and then all of a sudden they just gone. I can understand you hurt, you going through stuff, but
right.
he was just out here just matching everything that came across him. And that was one of the last things on my mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out,
Yeah,
because now it's just like trying to make sure the kids are good and how they're
right.
gonna, continue to move forward in life. You know what I'm saying? He just was like, I need to
I
bond.
mean, and granted, everybody grieves in their own way.
Right.
So,
And
like, if
he
that's what
had to
some,
clap cheeks every day.
that's what he was doing. But it was just the way they did it. It was just like, it just, I don't know. It felt like he was forcing the humor too much
Yeah,
in that.
the raggedy beard, and he just
Yeah,
didn't give a shit no more. It's just like, come
right
on, man. He
now.
completely lost his religion, just went out the window.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
don't get
in
me
the
wrong. I laughed.
movies, that was like his main thing. He was very religious and very family oriented. So for
But you
him to
know
just
what?
be like, okay, fuck the family, fuck them kids, I'm just gonna match these hoes. It was kind of
But you know
weird.
what though? All of that to me, I can see being very realistic.
It
It
could
was
be.
to me, it was probably more so on Morse Chestnut's acting skill in that particular situation. I do appreciate that about him though, being like madly religious and all that other stuff, because even in that him being religious, it was like you could still see that he was flawed,
Yeah,
right? And he was really and truly walking, standing firm in his beliefs. He
yeah,
was like, I understand that I'm Christian, but I also understand that I'm flawed. And like
yeah. And I'm human.
I'm human. So that made it really good. And that was another thing that I appreciated about the writing overall, is that none of the characters were perfect. None of them. And I think that was something they did really good with this, was that they showed everybody's flaws. They really kind of focused on a lot of their
Well,
flaws.
we got to see these characters individually.
You got to see
You know,
all of their
in the
perspectives.
movies, we just kind of knew their personality a little bit, and you would
Right.
see them interact with each other. It was
Right.
very rare that you would see them by themselves, unless it was just like Harper with what's her face? So now what was her
Right.
name in that?
Robin.
Robin. Excuse me. Other than that, it just really wasn't a lot going on to where you saw them personal, and so this got to flesh that out, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, they did really, really good.
Yeah, because
With
I
me.
was my boy Merch, man. That you know what I'm saying. He had a character flip for the better to
He did
me.
a big 180. He
That
did a
dog,
huge 180.
he was like, look, after he
Oh,
seen that shit,
spoiler alert, by the way.
oh man, yeah, too late.
Yo, we fucking it
Shouldn't
up
be
for y'all if
watching
y'all
this
haven't
shit
seen
if you
it
ain't seen it yet.
yet.
But he got tired of getting picked on, and he started to realize, like, man, after he got the carrying and shit, you know what I'm saying, and then the way they portrayed him in the movie, he was like, man, screw this shit. I'm sick of it. And when he went to
Yeah.
that damn gym and started whipping ass, I was like, that's my dog. That's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
dog.
He did a big character flip. But that's the other thing, is that you see all these different things going on and how these characters are changing, so on and so forth. But you know what I really, really, really liked about it
Yeah.
was that nothing was perfect. Like
Nothing.
Harper's life, right? Harper's life, his life, I don't want to say necessarily that his life with the shit, but like he didn't have the happily ever after.
What
You know what I'm saying?
who's okay? Let's see whose
We'll
fault
talk
is it.
about that. We'll talk about that here in a
Okay.
minute. But I'm just saying, story wise,
Yeah.
it was like there was no happily ever after. Like that was kind of a more realistic view of just like how we grow as humans, and that we get married, we do these things, but people get divorced,
Yeah.
and these things do happen. And like you thought that it was you thought that once him and Robin got divorced, that you was going to see him and Jordan get together, but that didn't happen. It was just like, I just got to be me. Like, this is who I am. I
Was
got
it
to live by myself.
100% though? Because after he went and he won what's it called?
I think it was a Pulitzer Prize or something like that.
Okay, yeah, and she was there, and his daughter showed up afterwards and all that good shit. So it was just kind of like, was Robin? I mean, was Neil on there for him? You know what I'm saying?
I think they left that
Because
up to
this was
our
years later, right?
yeah. I think they
So
left it up to our interpretation,
right, to see if
because
like Because I kind of think they did.
I mean, I think both ways could be valid, because at the end of the day, when you find your soulmate, just because you find your soulmate doesn't mean that you're meant to be together linked
I know,
romantically. It's
man.
just that's just the person, you have a very intimate relationship with. It doesn't always have to be sexually or anything like that. It's just you can be open with that person, you just be yourself around that person and just have that vibe. So between them two, yeah, it could have gone that way, and it may have gone that way, but it also may not have. It could have been just them being just friends, and that's just
Yeah.
the friendship that they have. So I think they left that up to our interpretation, and I don't think
Okay.
they're going to build upon it anymore.
No, that's pretty much it.
This is pretty much it. But as far as just his personal life with his marriage with Robin, it was just kind of like, yeah, they got divorced, and like there was no chance of her coming back, but apparently they were still able to be friends.
I wouldn't have took
But
it back anyway.
Speaking of Robin, I can honestly say that I was on the fence on how she felt to a degree, because I understand the idea of like him being busy and not spending a lot of time with his family, and that can be frustrating. I can honestly see that being a married person, right? But at the same time, I do feel like a lot of the things that she was doing, she was being just as selfish as he was, if
She
not
was
sometimes far
she
worse.
was 100% selfish.
Because you could kind of see it all in the beginning when they went to Terrence's wedding,
Yeah.
Q's wedding. How she kind of like ventured off to go be by herself, and
she wasn't hanging with none of the crew.
and
I
she
thought
damn
she
near
was
went
I
to.
thought she was gonna hook up with the chick out there.
Me too. I about to say it was almost like she was just gonna go hook up with the girl.
Yeah.
So you kind of saw that, and then her frustrations with just being alone by herself a lot. And then on top of that, you could still tell that she was jealous of like Harper and Jordan's relationship,
Yeah.
because they just happen to be really close. So it was a lot of that was going on. But the thing that really, really made me mad about her was the very last thing she did before they got divorced, and that was taking his child to Ghana. That
That
part to
was
me
selfish as fuck.
was very selfish, because I'm like, okay, if you want to divorce this man, fine, that's cool. But you got to still remember that you made that child with that man. That's his child
And
too.
you had this random dude that you met twice.
She was fucking trying to fuck with another dude, right?
This nigga was around their child. He used to, when they was looking at
picking her up and
the
shit.
venue, he picked her up and hugged her, and she walking around and he
Uncle, what's
holding
the
the little
name?
girl hand.
Uncle
And the little
Jabari,
girl,
what's the
she was
name?
acting like she knew this nigga, like they was around each other a million times.
And she kept calling the nigga uncle, whatever.
You know what I'm
first
saying?
and foremost, we already know rule number one is if that nigga called uncle,
Hey, he knocking her down.
He more than likely cracking them cheeks.
Yeah,
right?
I'm pretty sure they didn't put it in there. I'm pretty sure he smashed.
If he didn't, she wanted it.
Yeah,
she wanted it.
Well, that's why she wanted to go to Ghana, because he was from there. He said he was just out there, to do his little business and stuff, and he goes back.
And I know all the women listening, y'all gonna be defensive of her and say, well, hey, her husband, blah blah, he almost cheated with Jordan and he never spent no time with her. But here's the fact of the matter, y'all: two wrongs don't make a fucking right. And if you're in a marriage, if you are in a marriage with somebody,
you're acting like Ghana is up the road,
right? But if you're in a marriage with somebody, if somebody fucks up, you have to learn how to work through the problem. You don't fucking solve the problem by getting revenge. Is not the way to solve the problem.
Or just get a divorce.
Let's go ahead. Well, I'm just saying, if you're gonna work through it,
right,
work through it. Otherwise, yes, divorce him and then move on. But to want to go fuck with somebody else because he did it is not the right way to do it. Yes, is it fucked up? Absolutely. Does it hurt? Yes, it does hurt. But at the end of the day, it's how you handle the situation.
Man, I wanted to crack her jaw so bad plenty of times.
But yeah, back to her when she said that she wanted to take his daughter to Ghana. It was just kind of like, and the thing was, it was like an ultimatum. Like she just really didn't give him a chance. And I'm just like,
it was nothing. This is happening. That's what she was. She said it's happening regardless.
And she was treating him like he was some sort of deadbeat father.
Right. He was there.
He fucking provided. He was a provider for his family. He bought houses.
She knew how sure that they were taken care of in the first movie.
Yeah.
And she wanted him to go for his dreams. And to me, I feel like this was like a teaching moment for all of these people who feel like, being successful is easy. To certain people, they feel like it's easy. Oh, I'm getting it on my own. I do this, I do that. Now, to be in a relationship, a marriage, and have a family, it's kind of hard to have two people that is very successful and still have time to spend with each other. In order for you to have this success, you got to be gone to work and do what you need to do. Somebody has to be with the child. It doesn't mean if it's the one man or woman. It's just when it's like, okay, now you got your little goal out the way. Now it's my turn, and she wants you to just lower all your shit down so she can have her shine.
Yeah,
But her thing was like, let me just go to Ghana, and it's like, no, look at all this money we just spent on this house.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, I think what it's really all about is compromise. And at times, do I feel like she compromised a little more than he did? I do. But at the same time, you can't really get mad at him for doing what he feels is doing best for his family.
But he actually mentioned it as well. Yeah, she may have compromised. It's because she didn't have shit to do. He told her, every time you get an idea, cool,
she kept trying to figure shit out, right?
And you don't finish it, and then boom, you got something else. I got your back. You don't finish it, so it's like, okay, you can't fault me for having my dream and it's working, and you don't have a dream. You got 90 million dreams.
And he told her that. He was like, and I'm trying to support your dream, but every time you try to do it,
you don't have one.
You fall short. You don't do it. So yeah, he was well within his rights to feel like when she was talking about buying the restaurant,
right?
He was like, I'm not fixing to go buy this restaurant if it's something that you're not going to commit to, and I think that's what it was. She had a lot of commitment issues, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I get it as a creative. That's just how things go. But at the same time, you got to look at it from his shoes. Shit, this is still money here, and we need money to live.
We just throwing out the window because you don't want to finish it.
So yeah, that she did compromise a lot, but she had her own faults too, and I felt like she was blind to her own faults at times. But
yeah, she was. But I'm not gonna act like Harper was a saint.
No, he wasn't.
He was trash out here, man. But my only thing is, if you go through this divorce and go through all this and lose your daughter and all that, at least smash, dog. At least smash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? if you're gonna go through all of this, at least smash.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I just didn't like the fact that she made that a final point. Like, and he said it during marriage counseling or divorce. He was like, I'm not fixing to fight you on any of this. You can have half of my money. You could do whatever you feel you deserve.
The lawyers there, he said you can have. He said, I'm not making this difficult. You can have whatever you want. It's fine.
I'm not gonna battle you on this. I'm trying to keep things amicable. But I felt like that was more than fair. That's where she should have been able to compromise and be like, that's cool. Like, fine, I'll move out of the house, or I'll keep the house, or just buy me another house.
But okay, I know how much you love your daughter. So let me go ahead. I'll take half, whatever, and then work on whatever I want to do. And you can still see your daughter whenever you want. But just saying,
that's all.
But she tried to make it seem like it was easy. I'm not keeping her away from you, but you in Ghana, bitch. You act like that's right. You know how long it would take me to get to Ghana from New York?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, just because they had the money to be able to do it, it was like, I still don't want to have to go fucking fly 17 hours to go see my daughter every time I want to go see it. You know how daunting that can be? That's not to sound selfish, but that is very selfish on somebody.
Very selfish.
And just
and I think the way I felt like she did it was like almost like she did it out of spite. You know what I'm saying? It was like
I feel like she did.
Yeah, it wasn't like there was a real motive on that shit or whatever. But to her, it like that's and it's selfish to your daughter. This child got friends and shit. She don't know how Ghana is. She was used to living in this nice house and all this shit. And you bringing her out there to go live in a jungle? Like, get the fuck out of here.
And if you could tell before she left, the daughter was like, I don't want to fucking leave my daddy. Like,
right.
She didn't care.
Didn't care.
She was crying, but she
told her to shut up.
Yeah, and then told her not to look, and then turn her head around.
Don't look back.
When they drove off. Don't look back. Like, bitch, that's her daddy. That's her daddy.
Give her one. Boy, I wanted to give her one.
Yeah. She almost, but you know what? that's good acting on her part, because Sanaa Lathan, if she's good at doing anything,
being a
she's
bitch
great
is
at
one of
being a
them.
bitch.
Being a
She's
bitch is one
great
of them,
at,
because
because
when
we
she
if
did it
you
on the Family That
a
Prays,
family that
boy.
prays, you hated her character. So I gotta go now. I gotta go back and watch
I gotta watch Brown Sugar.
I don't even know if I want to watch Brown Sugar, because she had some damn inner conflict in that movie too.
She was
But
at least sweet though.
that's for a whole different podcast.
Okay, with love and basketball.
Yeah, we could do. We'll say Brown Sugar. Fuck it, Alien versus Predator, and I ain't never even seen that shit. But no, my point
She was
is,
trashing that shit. But go ahead.
I'm just trying to find a movie where she's not being so much a fucking bitch.
Yeah, but yeah, if she can be anything, she can be a bitch and knows how to.
And I hate to call
she
it
gets
that.
some out of my skin, like I was the nigga who got hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, right. Like she knows how to push the buttons.
Yes,
she did that very well in the movie.
Boy,
in the series.
When he smacked on the Family That Prays and knocked over the counter, I stood up and
yeah, it was. Oh, she deserved that shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Look, I do not condone.
I don't
hitting
either,
the woman,
but she deserved every bit of that slap.
She kind of deserved that shit. No, she deserved that shit.
She said, "My son is a Cartwright."
Yeah, when she told that man that wasn't his son, that's like the earth. That's like I would have hit her like the earth stopped spinning.
Yes. Yeah. She deserved every bit of it.
But look, shit, the way we going in on her, we could do a whole entire episode on that. So,
yeah.
But so her character was very selfish, but another one of the characters that I really, really appreciate, and I think I appreciate him throughout the entire franchise, is Terrence Howard's character. Terrence Howard's character has always been my favorite character in the show.
Well, they had him. He almost got caught up at the beginning. He started falling for the bullshit in the beginning when he was messing with what's her face,
Nicole Ari.
Yeah, he was caught up in the dumb shit with her. He wasn't being himself, and everybody kind of felt it. But then when Shelby came through.
Oh, Shelby ran interference very, very strong,
hard.
But sometimes.
But once he got out of that little trance, he was back to himself, and he was pretty. He always was the dude that kept it 100.
That's because he flipped like that because that butt. He got a hold of that butt. That butt must have been real good.
That's what I'm saying. He almost got caught, man.
Say sometimes it'll do it to you.
Yeah, it'll change you, man. They say got you acting out of character, man.
They say it'll put that spell on you. So she must have had that. She must have put that butt on him.
Yeah, man. She with the sunshine, man.
Sunshine, yeah, like Harlem, like the sunshine. She put that sunshine on him.
Yeah,
but no, his character. I think I appreciated him and Shelby's relationship. I
honestly felt like Shelby turned out to be the best wife ever.
She did, because for one thing, in their relationship, they was 100% like 100 with each other. They said what was on their mind. They spoke their mind. They romantically, sexually, they did, like, they had a really good sexual chemistry. And then when near the end of the series, when his health started going down, she was like there for him.
He cared. She really cared.
She was there for him through it all. Even through, like, to me, that's like real love. I think that was the focus on real love. Like, they could argue, they could make up, they could be honest with each other, and even through the bad times, it's like, I'm mad at you,
but we work
like me and Adrian, we can have a bad argument, but like, I'm gonna get up and go to the kitchen and be like, you need something?
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it to you with a frown on my face.
Yeah,
I'm still gonna take care of you. Yeah. Like, that's, to me, that's love.
Yeah.
To be able to go through those hard times and still be able to care for one another. And I think that was like the dopest relationship in the entire series, because
man, like the only thing I didn't like is the fact that she waited, 12, 13 years or something like that to tell this girl and tell him that this is actually his daughter.
Yeah.
And they've been interacting with each other for every now and then whenever they would see each other. And so you could have told this man that was his daughter a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a little fucked up, but it's the realities of life. I mean,
but she did a lot to make up for it too. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Like
yeah.
she once they said, hey, let's get this housewives attitude and shit up out of you. We need to change your personality, your persona. Once they changed that, she was perfect.
Man, she did. She was another one that did a complete 180.
Because
Like,
she was mad with the doctors when they said they couldn't have sex. She was like, I can't. What?
yeah.
The rest of them, they wasn't even getting buns, and they've been married for years.
Yeah, well, Lance was, but he wasn't married no more.
Right, he was just.
I ain't gonna lie, I like the Jamaican chick or whatever she was.
Yeah, but it was. Soon as you saw her, you knew what was gonna
Yeah,
happen.
you knew it, but I think you could kind of see her. You could kind of see where they kind of like likened her to Mia.
Yeah,
a little bit because she was the pure girl and so on and so
soon
forth.
as
She
she
was very
said,
honest.
the rest is in God's creation, and he looked at her like, "Oh, you religious,
Yeah.
huh?" And
But
after
it was,
I was like, "Yeah, he's gonna marry this one."
yeah, he go get with her. But I think I just like her. She was cute. She was cute. She was.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
She was
knockdown
gorgeous.
action all day.
She was very good. But I enjoyed her character because she was you could tell she was down to earth
Yeah,
but
but
that was
she was
new that
only
was
there to lock
yeah,
him
she was Mia
down.
2.0. Mia
Yeah,
2.0. That's all she
yeah.
was. Who else did I enjoy? I liked Regina. What's her name?
Candy,
Is she Regina?
Candace.
Candace. Okay, I liked her character a little bit, but there were times where she was kind of a little irritating too because she
She
was so
was
wrapped up in the work, and she was kind of she was bringing a lot of masculine energy into their relationship, and
right.
Merch was trying to correct that. Like, okay,
Yeah,
look, I support what it is that you're doing. I got you, but like, you kind of need to be a mother to your children.
right,
Like, you kind of need to focus on the family. Like, I'm still your husband. Like, it was almost like the roles reversed,
right.
where he did, and it's not so much about the gender thing, but
Yeah. No,
ideally, when
he
you
was
look at
just
it,
doing way more with the kids than she was.
ideally, you saw him as the housewife, and she
Right,
was the one doing all the work. And he was like, I don't want to, like, this is a two-way streak. We got to be able to be on the same page here. So, like, I'm glad that they really kind of showcased that in Merch, and how we talked about it earlier, where Merch was like, okay, look, I done had enough.
yeah.
Fuck this. I'm tired of being this guy. I'm tired of
I'm
being the
tired of
pushover, so on and so
I
forth.
don't want to be looked at and being portrayed as this weak dude.
Right.
So he had
So
to come
that
out
was
and come tough.
that for sure. But of course, they also brought in the Me Too thing with her character, which
Yes,
for
it
what
happened.
happened,
It happened. But
it
my
needed to
whole
come out.
okay, and this should be a lesson to women. For one,
Don't
if
put
this
yourself in a
dude
compromising situation.
has all of this stuff and he look at you saw his office. Pretty sure he had another office somewhere else. Why the hell did you have to work right there? But
Yeah.
she wasn't doing anything. She didn't do anything to entice him or anything. He just did this shit. But once it happened,
Mhm.
you don't just sit there and act and don't say nothing. The
Yeah.
first thing she should have done was told her husband.
The very first thing she should
She
do
should have
was
told
tell
her
her
husband from the jump, because now you increasing this to happen again. He's gonna do it
Yeah.
to somebody else. He's probably been
Yeah.
doing this shit forever, and because y'all don't want
Yeah.
to say nothing, something happens. Say something to somebody. That way we can try to fix that shit and handle business. Because what happened? She got mad after he ended up getting some award, or he ended up
He was
getting
getting ready to
his
get
doctorate or some shit like that. But
No, you should have in the butt in the
yeah,
beginning.
you don't want to wait till then and then want to just type about it. No, you should have took care of that shit from the jump, and you would have found out your husband would been whipping ass for a minute if you would have told him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You should have let him handle that shit.
It's one of those things where you shouldn't put yourself in a compromising situation. I
True
get it.
enough.
This guy is prestigious and great at what he does. And if you were looking to him for mentorship, then when you're working intimately with this guy, don't be completely alone with him. Go to a public library. Go somewhere where y'all can have those conversations and move forward, whatever it is that he's trying to mentor you in, and just handle it that way. But don't be alone with him in his office, because at the end of the day, I was watching Chris Rock the other day. His one of his stand, I think it was bigger and blacker.
Yeah.
And he was saying that, at the end of the day, all men think about is sex. Like that's just how we're wired, right? And he was basically saying that if a man is willing to help you with anything, all he's really trying to do is offer you dick. Hey, let me get that car done for you. You need some dick? Let me get this for you. You need some dick? That whole thing. And that's what it is. So if you're going to a man for mentorship and he's willing to help you like that, just know that he's probably going to expect something in return.
But see, that's the whole thing, is because a lot of these women in these shows that do that, especially like on Viv, bitch, they adore these men so much to where it's like you showing some type of interest into it. So of course they're gonna pursue that shit because you showing so much. Soon as we were introduced to the teacher or whatever, the guy, I was like, he's gonna try to smash, because he made a comment to Merch.
Yeah.
When he said about 2 steps back or some shit like that, and he was like,
yeah, he was checking out. Yeah, he was checking out. I saw that very clearly. So, I know, again, women listening, some women listening will be like, oh well, he should just be able to have more self-control. A lot of guys do have self-control, but at the end of the day, it's you gotta think about the realities of life. Some guys,
you can't be with certain dudes, man.
You can't put yourself.
They don't have self-control, but that's a very small percentage of men. So we can't just make it seem like it's a big thing.
Yeah,
it's a small percentage of men. But you just never put yourself in these situations.
Don't put yourself in a compromising situation, especially if you're married. Like, if you're married, you definitely don't want to just be alone with somebody like that. Respect, because it's just a respect for boundaries kind of thing. Like, you got to respect my boundary. I'm married to somebody, so we can meet up, we can do this, because I mean, my husband trusts me enough and my wife trusts me enough to go be with you, but we gotta keep it. Let's be realistic.
100% professional.
Keep it 100% professional.
There's no reason for y'all to be working solo at night. Y'all shouldn't be having dinner and drinking wine and all this other shit together, doing all this stuff at working. You shouldn't be doing none of that shit.
You shouldn't be. And look, let's be 100% honest here. We're all human, and if you're in a committed relationship with somebody, if you're married to somebody, that doesn't mean that you don't notice that somebody else is attractive. It's okay to have a little crush on people. It happens, but you have to know how to handle those situations. Like, you have to have self-control and just be like, keep it 100%.
You be like,
professional.
Oh, that's a fat ass. All right. And go about your business.
That's just how life is. But I feel like, and I know that she didn't have those intentions, and I know she may not have saw it coming, but at the end of the day, just think, look before you leap.
Be working that close with this guy at these late hours. And
you shouldn't. You like, don't spend that much kind of time, because that guy is, especially, man, just how dudes are.
She could have been at home typing that shit.
Some dudes just can't control themselves, and you talking about a man that has money and power and all these other things, he damn sure gonna feel like he entitled.
But that's the whole thing. He had just got off the phone with his wife right before he did the shit. Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? It was nothing. But she didn't say nothing. So this means he's done this before, because he was hella comfortable. I mean, he went in, he smelled it, and then went straight for the tick. He didn't even play around.
So he's like, as soon as I saw him like kind of standing looking over her shoulder, I was like, I told AJ, I said he too close. Yeah. And as soon as I said that, he started smelling her hair and shit. And like, first and foremost, what the fuck? Like, smell her hair, nigga? That's fucking psychotic.
Yeah.
That's cringy. That is mad cringy.
I'd be more afraid that he's gonna kill me after he raped me. You know what I'm saying?
Like, that's weird.
Because he smelled my hair.
But I do like that they've kind of focused on those aspects of Merch's and Candace's relationships, like, because those relationships do exist. And I think it's just kind of a way of saying that, okay, look, ladies, like, we get it. You want to be successful, you want to be into your careers and stuff like that, and that you feel like the man should just be able to just take whatever and move on. But no, like, niggas want to feel love too. Like, niggas want to be appreciated. We may not showcase that in a way that you feel the way that you do it, but
we gotta feel needed.
but we want to feel needed too. Like, just don't think that we just take all like, yeah, we take a lot on our shoulders.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we're not expected to
Look at these shoulders.
to feel a certain way about it,
all kind of shit.
but we carry a lot. And so, yes, to feel wanted and to feel needed and to feel loved, that is something that men want. And I think that's what merch was trying to showcase in the show. Like, I'm your husband, I support you, and I'm behind you 100%.
But they fixed it though, because then they was like, because for one, their problem was they were hiding too much from each other. He wasn't telling her about him going out fighting and doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
He didn't want to tell him about that. But at the end, they sat down and talked, and they was like, okay, cool.
Well,
we have to be more transparent. There's no more secrets.
But see, that's the thing though. That's the thing, is that I think I honestly felt like he disconnected.
Yeah.
You know, I'm doing everything that I possibly can. I'm trying to talk to you, but I don't think you're hearing me. So it's like, if you're not hearing me, why the fuck am I going to keep talking?
Well, he
you know what I mean? So
out.
Yeah. So this is how I got to get this frustration out. I'm going to go. I feel like this is going to be the way to solve it. And I think it helped him.
It did.
I don't think it solved it, but it did help him. And I think once they had the conversation that they needed to have, then things got better.
Because he stood up to his friends.
He stood up to everybody. So it helped him get a little bit more backbone, but it also helped him be able to express himself in conversation without conflict. Yeah, because in marriage you're gonna have hard conversations. You have to have hard conversations. They're never gonna end. I think one of the things about marriage that people get misconstrued is that once you say I do and you go through the wedding, that it's always gonna be a honeymoon, and it's not. A marriage is not any of that.
Yeah,
I tell people all the time, it's
a wave.
It goes up and down. Yeah, it's like wave. How long can you put up with that other person's bullshit, basically?
Right.
And
so I haven't been married, but I was with Keisha for 18 years.
Yeah.
And we had very much the same thing. We just didn't have the title of being married, right?
Yeah.
So we would have moments where it's all joy. Like, you know, she couldn't walk past me without me smacking on the ass or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And we just have everything's just flowing like it should. Everything's happening like it's supposed to. Then we have moments where we didn't even want to talk to each other. It'd be times where you don't want to come home because I don't want to hear her nagging, or I don't want to hear anything. I just like so, and then that shit wears off, and then we fall back in love. It's like we fall in love so many times.
Yeah.
And you just got to be willing to go through that. And when it's not good, you know, you don't have to go out and do dumb shit, but you just got to be willing to stick through it.
It's not the time to give up. That's the time.
Yeah.
Those times are the times where your love actually is the strongest, because if you can go through that storm and come out on the other side and be fine,
y'all letting each other know that y'all got each other back no matter what.
You got each other back. And I think that was really the biggest thing in Merch's and Candace's relationship, was that they were able to go through those storms. Even because I think the thing is that when a storm comes in your relationship, you don't plan for it, because it just comes.
This just happens.
Like a storm just happens. So when you're going through those storms, you don't even realize that you're going through it with this person. You just know that you're going through it. So when you come out on the other side, and then you have after you didn't have the conversation or did whatever you need to do to resolve the issue,
right? You got the clarity.
You get the clarity. You look at the storm, and you actually look at the storm as like, damn, that was one of the better moments in our relationship, because we needed that.
Yeah,
we needed that, because it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbow.
Yeah,
like if it's always sunshine and rainbow, something's wrong.
Yeah, you get to a point where it's like the way they chewing bothers you at some point. And you're like, man, stop chewing like that. But when you're done with it, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, I was just aggravated. And this is why. Something happened and it kind of fucked me up. I took it out on you. You took that shit. And then I gave you that energy. So now you're giving me that energy back. So it's just like, man, it's always some bullshit.
Yes, 100%. So bravo to them writing that. One of the cornier scenes, I mean, it was funny, but it was really cheesy, was the fucking ayahuasca scene.
Oh yeah,
ayahuasca.
Yeah.
I felt like honestly feel like they could have done without that scene. I liked
Well,
it.
that's
I
the
did
new
like
thing
it.
now. They this
I
is the
know.
thing that people are doing. I don't. I think I'm too afraid to even try to even do some shit like that.
Hell, I don't need ayahuasca. I can just smoke weed and get some damn clarity. Because apparently, what ayahuasca does is it basically tells you maybe I have low tolerance for weed, even as much as I like it. But apparently, what it does, and I think all drugs probably do it, is that it lets you see yourself on a deeper level. It like
They
really,
say that you are in spirit form. You're not in your body, and
yeah.
you go
So
and
it makes
you get answers from the world that you know
yeah.
you see things more clear. You have an understanding between you and your spirit and the world.
All it is just a hard, like you learn a hard truth about yourself.
Right.
You know, you start thinking about, man, maybe I am a little fucked up, or
Yeah.
if I keep doing the shit that I'm doing, things are not going to work out well. So it basically says like that's basically what it's saying. Like, you're fucked up, right?
No, you fucked up,
You know,
right?
you know what I'm saying. So I know what it's about, and I know that it's supposedly last quite some time. So when you're going through that trip, it's like you want it to end, but you do find a lot of clarity. Personally, I could just smoke some really good weed and that's the kind of shit I think about when I smoke weed. I'd be like, all right, well, maybe I need to work on this. Because
Well,
once I get like
I'd rather
mad
call
high,
somebody and be like, "Hey, am I fucked up for this?" Like,
yeah. And
yeah.
that's probably that's probably the best way to find clarity in your
And it
life.
has to be the right person. Like I can call you and
Yeah.
say, "Hey, Doc, am I fucked up for this?" And I want you to tell me yes or no. Just either way.
Yeah.
But you
You gotta
you
talk.
can't have a person that's just gonna be like, "Oh no, no, you good, man. You
No,
perfect
no.
100." No, you gotta have
Actually,
somebody
you
who's
know
gonna
what you
tell
need
you,
to
"Yeah,
do?
dog, that's fucked
You
up."
gotta find somebody, who's truthful. The best thing to do is to find somebody who's non-biased.
Yeah,
So, like, if you go, like, say for instance, you go talk to a psychiatrist, a lot of people feel like they're supposed to go talk to somebody they can relate to, right? Like, if
yeah,
I'm a black dude, a married black dude, and I need to go talk to another married black dude because he's gonna relate to me. Now, I don't want to go talk to him. I'm gonna go find that old white woman who live with a bunch of cats that don't have nothing to do with anything that I can relate to. So that way, when I'm going through talking about these things that I'm going through, she gonna be like, "Nah, I don't like that. So
yeah.
maybe you need to do this." Like, that's what I would do if I were to
They'll
go
give you the simplest
talk to a
answer.
therapist, because you're gonna get the best answer from them because they're coming from a place they're coming from a place that they don't understand about you, but they can kind of see the solution
Right.
or see their perspective of the solution, and you'd be like, "Oh,
No,
all right,"
didn't look
you
at it
know.
that way.
I didn't see it that way. I think we always try to find people who can relate to us so that they can kind of agree with us. And sometimes everything that you need in life to try to move forward is not somebody to agree with you, but somebody to just be like, "Nah, that ain't it. Like, do what you do,
But then,
but I'm just
yeah,
letting you know,
that ain't it. But I
that's
mean,
not it."
and then we all got to understand in life or whatever. Some people are only here for a couple of seasons. Dog. They not here for the rest of your life. Some people get lost in the South. Somebody get left behind, and it's fine. You ain't got to sit up in
Yeah,
and harp on that shit. Some people that I thought I was gonna be cool with forever, I ain't talked to in over 10, 15 years. You know what I'm
me
saying?
too. Me too.
Some people they still around. But I don't have to be around them motherfuckers every day, all day either. So
Yeah,
it's time balance and whatnot, and don't be afraid to leave those people behind.
you sometimes you have to in order to find a deeper understanding of yourself and to do the things that you want to accomplish.
Yeah, because if
So
you're
yeah,
sitting around that same
everybody's
circle, man, they holding you here.
you
That's
being
it.
held back, and you don't want to, that's where emotional intelligence really comes into play. But that's a whole different conversation. We talked about that the other day with my photography friends.
Yeah,
But yeah, the ayahuasca thing I felt was kind of corny, but I also understood. Um, what was the other thing that I want to talk about? Who did I want to talk about? Well, we didn't talk much about Nia Long.
but
Um,
she's still a trash person as well because she knew that man was married and everything, and she tried to give him the buns since the beginning. She was
she
trying, even when she talked to Mia, which I felt like that was trash. That they named their daughter Mia.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
dog. Come on.
Okay, so yeah, I got other stuff to talk about in terms of the entire franchise, but yeah, you're right.
They named the
You're
daughter Mia.
absolutely right.
I thought that was trash as shit. But when she talked to me and Mia was like, she was like, yeah, he was what I needed. And she was like, really like she was getting moist talking about it. You know what I'm saying? And Nia Long or Jordan was just like, I think I want some of that. And ever since then, she's been trying. And you know what I'm saying? I feel like she was trash for that shit. But she is another example of a woman who her career was more important than everything else. And by the time she looked back, everybody else has been married, got kids, and all of this other stuff. And she's been so career driven, she forgot that you had to have a life as well.
You need to have a life, and they highlighted that very well.
Yeah, and now it's kind of too late for you now. You know what I'm saying?
But even in that, because even what you saying that she's being a trash ass person, I still feel like that was good writing in her character. Because even if you do look at it on a like from the surface level, it looks bad. Well, it's not good no matter what.
No, it's not good at all.
It's not good at all. But when you look at it from a deeper level, you see that conflict in her inner conflict where it's like, I'm so driven and I got my counterpart right here. He's right here. Right here. He's the same exact person as me, just got a dick, right? She's just kind of like, okay, well, we're soulmates, and I'm doing my best to respect his boundaries, but
I'm open.
But that motherfucker is just like me, so I'm attracted to that shit. So like, you know, hey, look, if something happened, I'm here. Just let you know. Even though I know you married, you know, yo, I'm here.
I'm here.
You saw that conflict in her, and there are people. I'm pretty sure there are people who could relate to that. But
of course,
that doesn't mean that it's right. So
that's
just that. Huh?
Nobody said that, but yeah, we can relate or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that, like, you know, some people don't understand. You can be connected to somebody for 40 years, and you just know something with y'all just cannot get y'all to separate. But life is happening. You got other stuff in the middle of all of that shit, and you sometimes you just gotta wait it out or just leave it alone.
Or leave it alone. And that's her conflict. It's like she's trying to play that, she's trying to ride the fence, you know, ride the line on it. Like, I'm here for you. Like, no matter what, I'm gonna be here for you. But I just want you to know, nigga, it's a struggle. It's hard. It's hard. But also not only from that aspect, but just her being career driven, period. Like, you started to see it wear down on her.
Yeah.
Like, you know, hey,
her health started going down. She started going blind.
Started fucking with her health. Yeah, she started going blind. She started dealing with headaches and all this other shit. It's like, yeah, you working yourself to the bone. Like, that's that I think that was them kind of talking about the toxicity of hustle culture, right? It's just like, you know, just because things are going good in your career, just because if don't feel like if you miss one thing that your life is going to shambles.
Right.
It's not. Like, it's okay to calm the fuck down. And this is even people who are going through hard times. Like,
but it's more like the whole thing. Okay, so everybody see it all the time. You have these CEOs of these companies or the owners and whatnot, and it comes with bullshit. You gotta work all the fucking time. When they get a divorce, people be like, why the fuck would she leave this man that makes billions of dollars every year? She left because he don't have time for her. But that's a part of the sacrifice. If you're gonna make this type of money, you gotta realize, like, that dude is not gonna stop making this money because you want time. In order for me to keep making this money, I need the time over here. I'll see you here. Take this money, go on about your business. You'll be all right. I'll see you when I get home. But it comes with it. It's a sacrifice, and she got to that point to where she was sacrificing everything. That's what I said. No kids, none of this shit.
Yeah.
And then when she thought she was pregnant, I think she was excited, but then when she found out she wasn't, she was kind of like, she was hurt. She was hurt because now she don't have that family or that person she can always be with. Because throughout that whole series, she was alone.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is that I think the whole thing is basically like them saying that does not equate to self-care. Because even if you do have a family or if you don't, like you still got to make sure that you take care of yourself. And that was what the
Right.
big thing was. It's just
And
that
it didn't
you
mean you was happy.
I mean, even if you are career driven, like take 5 minutes ago, just step outside, like
Yeah.
breathe, relax, chill. Like it's okay to plan a little bit of time out to go to the spa or go play video games. Hell, go jack off. I don't know. Go do something.
Well,
Like
the only
do
person
something to relieve the stress.
she would take their 5 minutes out of the day for was Harper.
It was Harper, but unfortunately, he was a married man in a committed relationship. But speaking of Harper, I don't know. It could be just me, but I feel like he kind of played a lot of background in the series, and they
Yeah, he
focused
was
more
gone
so on
for a
the other
couple of
characters.
episodes.
He was gone. He played background a lot, but it was kind of cool because you did see him evolve a little bit.
Yeah.
In this series, you saw him really trying to be a good guy. Well, honestly, in the franchise, I felt like he wasn't necessarily the worst person. I just
He
felt like
was.
he was just in some really fucked up situations.
No, he was the worst dude
And
ever.
and he didn't know
He
how to
just
handle
happens
those
to be a nice
situations.
guy.
Could be. You might be right. I think maybe he was just a nice guy, but in this series, you could tell he was genuinely trying to be good. He was like, "Look, man, I ain't trying to fuck up nothing else. Like, I need to talk to Lance. I
Right.
gotta,
I need to make sure
whatever,
this is good. Because
whatever we
before it
doing."
was all about I gotta get this money. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta fuck over y'all real quick, but I'm going to get this money. So yeah, he did try a little bit in this one.
So this time he was trying to keep the substance good, like
Right.
whatever. And I mean, you still saw his flaws. He's still career driven and doing what he got to do, but he was trying to do it the right, I guess, whatever the right way is.
And he thought he was doing this
So
for his family. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like he was really just being selfish. Like, I need to make this money for me. He was like, no, I want to put us in this nice neighborhood and have my daughter at the best school, and you can do your stuff. We can have enough money for you to do all the shenanigans you want to do and whatnot. But
yeah,
in order for us to fund this shit, somebody got to make the money.
somebody got to make the money, and he was bringing in that bread. He was rich,
Yeah.
So I mean, you got to keep it coming.
So
So
I kind of wish they would take the movie and make that a movie so we can watch that.
like the movie in the movie,
Yes, his movie.
Unfinished Business, the movie.
I want to see that. Yeah.
You hear that, Malcolm D. Lee?
I want to see that. So whatever y'all recorded, put it out.
Make the movie Unfinished Business.
A movie, yes.
But so I was watching actually The First Best Man yesterday.
Yeah.
And I really sat here and thought about it. I was like, you know what? Lance is a strong man. Because after finding out that Harper fucked his girl, but right before he got married to her, he still got on that altar with tears in his eyes,
Imagining the
had
whole
those
time.
thoughts in his head.
Well, that shit
Gave her a
hurt,
kiss, started a family, all this other stuff with this woman, knowing that his best friend, his ace, his number one guy, was inside of her.
Hurts, dog.
Like, fellas, just sit back and think about that, or ladies, if vice versa, or whoever.
Yes.
Really sit back and think about that, because if you're looking at it from the movie's perspective, it's just entertainment, right? But if you really sit back and think about that shit, I got to give that man props, because
it's hard, man. But I wouldn't have married her.
That's exactly what I'm saying. A lot of people would have been like, we'd have put this in a very real situation.
Homie is over hoes. Homie.
A lot of niggas be like, a lot of niggas be like, nah, fuck that. Fuck that. No, that's a no. That's a deal breaker.
Now, if I did go through with this, because I love this woman so much, look, dog, you can't come around here.
Yeah.
You can't come around here.
Yeah. I agree.
Don't hit my phone. Don't hit her phone. I don't care what's going on. our kid could have gotten into a bad accident, and I know that you was uncle and all that. Don't come through. Don't check on him.
And
Talk to Jordan.
I
Ask Jordan how the kid's doing.
and I do agree with the idea, like, people say, whatever happens before marriage, that's then. And it is very true, because you didn't say I do, even through
it is
but even through engagement,
that's
but
the homies, man.
that's hard, because that was your
homie.
best friend.
It's like his
the
brother.
Best man. And he was the best man. So it was like,
he's standing right here. He's standing right here while we saying I do.
Of all people, it was the best man, my best friend, the guy that I relied on to like see me through this shit. Yes. That saw me through the shit.
I would have got married with no problem if I would have found out she fucked anybody else.
Yes.
Anybody else. But this nigga?
This guy.
This nigga?
That's what made it hard.
The one that put me on?
The nigga that introduced you.
The one that put me on. Same nigga that.
Oh God, like, yeah, that would be.
That's hard, man. I couldn't do it. Sorry.
That's what I say. We don't think about those types of things when you're watching that movie, but that was a strong brother.
Women, y'all can say whatever y'all want, and it's true. Our egos are fragile as shit. And it don't mean we weak men. That just means we get very protective and we want shit. We selfish when it comes to women. And so I can meet a chick, and I'm because I'm at my age now, I can understand, people got a pass. She been with this cat, that cat, this, that, whatever. But if it's not the homies, whatever. I done been there, done all that. So yeah, it's fine. But once I find out this one of the fam, yeah, it's a wrap.
The thing is with like you said, our egos are fragile. So men love hard. I'm finna get, you know what, ladies, y'all about to get just a little bit of nugget from a man's perspective.
Yeah.
Y'all do not realize, I don't want to call it the power you have, but y'all don't realize what y'all have.
No, like this power.
It is power. Y'all are more likely to have somebody pursue you than we are us. Okay.
Yes.
Y'all don't need much to be pursued. All you need is to be attractive and have a good personality and be there. We have to have in order for us to be pursued, it's conditional by general standards, right?
Yes.
What can we give you? So if we don't have anything to give you, nobody's coming after us. So it's a lot easier for you to find love than it is for us. So when we find love, we love very hard. Very hard. This is when we got you, we got you. So it's like, we appreciate you. And yeah, there are guys who step out and so on and so forth. And there may be reasons behind it. And I'm not saying that it's bad. I mean, I'm not saying that it's good. But dudes, just know that it's probably like, if you leave that man, it will probably be a hell of a lot easier for you to find a guy than it is for him to go find a girl.
I guarantee a woman gets divorced today, later on tonight, niggas gonna be in the
a nigga find out he gonna be in your.
They gonna be in the DMs.
A dude. Yeah, he might be able to. He gonna find a chick, but it ain't gonna be like he gonna find chicks. He ain't gonna just get with a chick.
But now he just knocking them off. He's
dealing with it by just randomly, having meaningless sex with all these women. Just trying to fill a void that can't be filled at the moment.
Right.
So just know that when a man loves, he loves. You know what I'm saying?
Why do you think people be getting killed behind women?
Yeah, so
niggas will go crazy, dog.
So just know, like, and it's not so much playing gender roles, and it's not being sexist. I'm not trying to sound misogynist or anything like that. This is real. These are harsh realities that we deal with. I wish things could be much more even. I pray that things can be more even, but unfortunately, in the world we live in, that's just how it is. So until we can have those conversations and communicate and get each other to understand how it all works, that's just the way it is. So like in Lance's situation, that was a hard thing for him to
tough, man.
like that was like I said, I give him props on that because men love hard, and I don't know what I would do if I found out that
And
my best
even
friend
though he
smashed the
prayed on
girl
it
I
and
was about to
everything,
marry.
you can pray on it all day long, and you know, you trying to get that cleanse. You want that out of you want to try to get that kind of hatred out of your heart and whatnot.
Still
But you
human.
still go think about it every time.
You still human. That's gonna be in the back of
Every
your
time this
mind.
man walks up and give my wife a hug, ready to knock him out.
Yeah. Those that shit happens, man. So it is what it is, but man, I think we covered a good deal of that today.
Yeah, man.
So with that being said, and
overall, I thought it was pretty good.
Overall, I would say out of 5 stars, I would give Best Man the final chapters about a good 4. And only reason
I'd give it a 3.5.
Okay, that's fair. That's very fair. And the reason I say that is because there are some cheesy parts in there.
Right.
And production wise, even though I understand why the production looks the way it looks, production wise, it could have been a little bit better. But overall, man, it was a really good show. For those who haven't seen it, you know, hopefully we didn't spoil it too bad for y'all.
I don't care. We spoiled.
If you haven't seen it, I highly do recommend it. It is on Peacock right now. So check out Best Man, the final chapters. And if you and if you're not familiar with the franchise as a whole,
go watch the movie.
Go back and start from the beginning. Watch the first Best Man that came out in 1999, which is a great fucking year, by the way. And then, you know, follow all the way through because it's really good storytelling, man. It's not it's although it features a lot of Black people, it's not just for Black people. Anybody can watch this movie. Anybody can relate to this movie because you see all the different personalities and relationships and all this good stuff, and anybody can relate to it. So
right, this is not one of those movies where people generalize it and say it's a Black movie. Nobody ever says it's a Black movie.
Yeah, it's just a movie that just happens to have Black people in it.
Yeah,
that's all it is. So check it out, man. But with that being said, I guess we can go ahead and come to a close. And I would like to say that it is indeed shout out time.
Yes, sir.
Do you have anybody to shout out?
Crystal.
All right. Appreciate it, Crystal. You know, our number one supporter, man. That's our fan right there.
Yeah.
Appreciate everything that she does.
We're gonna try our best to get her in here. We just got to make sure our timing is good, and you know, hopefully we'll get her in here so like the world can meet her and whatnot, and we be all right.
Right. We're gonna get her on here. I do have a Twitter list of shout outs to give out. We got some people that's been showing love, and I want to make sure that they get their flowers back. So we got Amazing Pop Culture Podcast.
Shout out.
We got Too Much CGI Podcast.
Too Much CGI.
We got the Top Loader. We got Sci-Fi Mumby.
Shout out.
We have Wrestling Makes the World Takes Podcast.
I like that name.
We had it's dope, ain't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I got one that's real good, but I'm gonna tell you in a minute. I'm gonna get to it in a minute.
Yeah.
We got Geeks Unleashed.
Gotcha, Geeks.
We have Men of Steel podcast.
How you doing, Men of Steel? Shout out.
We got the Manic Pixie Weirdo podcast.
All of that, yes.
We got Afternoon.fm.
All right.
Oh, here's where the names get really interesting. We got Cigar Store Idiots podcast.
Like it.
I love it. As a matter of fact, when I saw their name, I went on Twitter and I was like, look, I don't care what y'all got going on.
I just like
that
the
name. Kicks ass.
Like it.
We got Rena Friedman Watts. We have here's another one. It's a play on words. The Mass Debaters. I like that. I also told them that they had a dope ass name because that's really cool.
Yeah, I like that.
And they actually I like them and I like their content because they talk about a lot of like really nerdy kind of pop culture type shit. A lot of these do, but like they really go on there and they have the conversations about it and they do votes and polls and all that stuff. They got some really cool stuff going on over there with the Mass Debaters.
Yeah.
Pop culture perspective. And then last but not least, Comics and Chronic, which means that they talk about comics and cannabis culture. I fucks with that.
Yeah, man.
100%.
Yeah, man. Shout out to
all those people on Twitter and all those podcasts. Hopefully we can get on each other and do a little bit of crossover work and just kind of help each other move up in this podcast world.
Yeah, man. Just continue to support, man. Y'all come on, make sure y'all subscribe.
Man, we definitely appreciate the support. Hit us up on YouTube. We'll follow you back, and man, we'll definitely show love where it needs to be shown. So, with that being said, if you do support the show and you like the show, man, be sure to hit us up on Patreon. You can find us at the link below. To support us, got some pretty cool perks that comes with that. So be sure to show love that way. If you don't want to do it financially, as mentioned earlier, be sure to just like the video, share these videos. Share your thoughts in the comments, man. We really want to hear from what you got, hear what you got to say about these things. Just because we're saying these things doesn't mean that you necessarily have to agree with it or disagree. We just want to hear your thoughts. We want to keep the conversation going.
Yeah, man.
And then
if it was something that we missed in there, y'all let us know.
Yeah, if there's something that we missed, like bring it up. Let's talk about this shit, man. We want to talk to y'all. We want to pluck your brains and see what's going on. Just see your thoughts. So let us know.
It's free.
Free. You ain't got to pay no money.
Free.
It's just
you're already watching it. Say something.
You're already you done paid attention to it.
Just say what's happening.
Yeah. Say hi. And then most importantly, man, hit that subscribe button. Smash that shit. Abuse it. Punch the shit out of it. Yeah. Just press it. All it takes is it don't even take a second. That's it. Just a click. But be sure to subscribe, man. Like I said, it's a small move for y'all. Big move for us. So we take we take it. We love it. We up to 63 subscribers on YouTube. So we inching up. So we just we definitely appreciate those who have been showing the support. We appreciate you we appreciate those who will show support. So thank you.
Yeah.
Tell a friend. Also, be sure to hit the merch link. We got a dope ass t-shirt over there in Zazzle. Down there below. Just click it. Don't cost a lot. If you're a Patreon member, you get it at a discounted rate.
Goddamn right.
Get on that. And is that it?
Yeah, man.
Okay, I think that's it. All right, guys. Well, with all that being said, we do appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing what we got going on in the new year. Can't wait to talk to more of y'all. And
yeah, man.
Until next week. Peace.